Monte Carlo. A unique location that's engendered some of the defining moments in poker history. Glenn Chorney's done it, winning the biggest prize Europe's ever seen.
Adrian Mateos becomes our first ever Spanish champion.
What an incredible lineup.
This is the greatest final table that poker has ever seen.
It's an ace on the river. It's quads for O'Dwyer. Now, it's time for a new chapter to be written. Who will step out of the shadows? Who can ascend to greatness? And who has what it takes to become a champion? Welcome to Monaco and the PokerStars Championship presented by Monte Carlo Casino. I'm James Hartigan alongside Joe Stapleton.
Hello, my babies. It is the first European stop on our brand new global tour. Now, there are dozens of events happening here, but we are focusing only on one.
The main event. It has one of the biggest prize pools and draws by far the biggest field.
5K to play times hundreds of entrants equals millions of euros up for grabs.
To understand the eminence of the occasion, one must turn to the superstars who take up the challenge.
You know, Monte Carlo is a special event. You know, I come every single year and I've had some success. All the tournaments that I play in, you've got a really good variety of pros and amateurs, making it a more fun environment.
Just one of the most glamorous places you can dream of. It's absolutely stunning. Visually, it's like the colors are turned up to max.
Always just kind of feel like you're in some James Bond movie. You get a lot of, the wealthier players from the area come play, just trying to have a good time. That makes it fun to see some different faces out here.
This is a, dream situation for me to have a tournament in Monaco. I live very close. This is one of the biggest events in Europe. For me, there's no better place in the world than Monaco to play poker.
It's an awesome place to be, and the Salle des Étoiles is probably the most beautiful tournament room I ever played poker in.
It's the perfect arena for poker's most prestigious title. Who can deliver a performance worthy of this distinguished domain? Welcome to the Monte Carlo Casino Bay Hotel and Resort, hosting our main event.
Day 2, my babies. Let's light this candle.
From a starting field of 727 players, just over 250 remain.
Thank you. Good morning.
Daniel's in a great mood. Well, this is awkward. Igor is the guy that beat Daniel in the 2012 High Roller. Oh my goodness, Vicky's back. The only two-time champion on the books. We're not worthy.
While our feature table is headlined by two previous champs on the tour, Patrick Antonius took down Barden in 2005, and Davide Katai was the winner in Berlin in 2012.
Occasionally goes by the nickname Kitbull.
Well, they're joined by some other talented players, including French pro Benjamin Pollock, Alexandru Papazian from Romania,
Year of Romania,
and Denmark's Morten Mortensen. He's a regular on the tour who's cashed 7 times. Blinds right now, 800, 1600 with a 200 ante. Action will be on Hideki Takafuji. Under the gun, first to speak. He folds, as does Andrei Maklakovs. Papazian's out. Mortensen has Queen 9 offsuit.
He is in late position, but there are still plenty of players to act after him. If he enters this pot, he'll raise, but there's no shame in folding this either, especially with a short stack in the small blind.
So it's a raise from the hijack to 3,800.
Mortenson's got a hand he can easily ditch if anyone decides to re-raise him.
So round to the short stack player in the small blind, Benjamin Pollock, who has ace-8 of clubs.
Now, he's the short est stack, but he's still got 20 big blinds. He doesn't really have to do anything crazy here.
All in.
He decides to shove. Patrick Antonius is in the big blind and has ace-queen.
This is going to be a pretty easy call for Patrick. He does have to worry a little bit about original Razorson over there, which is why I think he'll just call instead of going all in.
Call.
He does call. Mortensen folds. Showdown.
Pollock is dominated. Domination Nation. Why does it always have to be the two handsomest guys at the table? Look at those jaw lines.
The flop is King, King 4. Pollock looking for an 8. There are a few chop opportunities.
Yeah, the board pairing's a little hopeful for Benjamin.
6 on the turn. A greater chance of survival now.
4, 6, 8. Many cards.
You can tell he doesn't really believe it. You have to believe it, Peter Pan!
The river card is a king. Ace queen holds. Pollock is out.
Good game. Good game. Good luck.
Okay, so not the best showing for Benjamin Pollock, but this guy's gone deep more often than Jacques Cousteau, and I know it's only a matter of time before we see him win something huge.
Meanwhile, Patrick Antonius is now the table chip leader with nearly 175k.
Table chip leader and sole remaining male model.
No cash for Benjamin Pollock, but we will make the money today. 143 will cash, with most of the prize pool reserved for the top 8, and more than $500,000 up top. Well, let's head over to the secondary feature table where Daniel Negreanu has called a raise from Michel Bianchi. Negreanu dominated here, jacks against aces.
They say there's 3 ways to play jacks, and they're all wrong, and this could very easily be one of those ways.
Bianchi a 4-1 favorite heading to the flop, which is ace, ace 3, quads for Bianchi.
Excuse me, but I didn't want to flop quads.
Action goes check, check.
Nothing you can do there but check with quads. Not like you're worried about getting outdrawn.
8 on the turn. Delayed continuation bet coming from Bianchi.
3.
That's 3,000.
I believe you. I'm gonna fold 2 pair. Yeah, I believe you. Good hand.
Daniel and his reads.
Sure.
Both?
Sure.
Oh.
What's that, ace? Wow! Nice hand.
That was a big relief.
You had too much. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. Nice hand.
Well, that's your quads for this decade. Enjoy those 6 chips. And it looks like Daniel found the right way to play jacks.
He's a below average stack right now. And we've got plenty of famous faces in the field, including the reigning champ, 2016 Monte Carlo winner, Jan Bendik.
No, this isn't your uncle who left his wife, started wearing sport coats, and cashed in his life insurance policy to start playing poker. He is a champion.
There's another winner, Liv Boeri. She took down San Remo a few years back, and she is sharing a table with the 2014 world champion, Martin Jakobsen.
Well, don't forget 2008 San Remo champion Jason Mercier. Mercier, a French word that means braider of beards.
Hashtag fake facts. How about some real facts? Plenty of online qualifiers in this tournament. Roughly 40% of the field repping more than 53 countries.
That is shocking. I didn't even know there were 53 countries.
Including Colombia, represented by Didier Ortiz.
You think this coffee guy qualified using Starsbucks?
Benjamin Heptonstall came all the way from Australia and claims to like us.
He's actually talking about James Earl Jones and Joe Pantoliano.
And Shebly from Lebanon.
When life gives you Lebanons, you make lemonade.
Well, there's another online qualifier who is all in. Robert Pankowski's tournament life on the line now.
This is not a big shove. It could get looked up pretty light.
The buttons folded. And the small blind. Round to Adrian Ionescu in the big.
16-5.
He calls, putting Pankowski at risk. Robert shows Queen Jack. Ionescu has Ace-9.
Pankowski's got live cards.
And he's paired one of them, Queen on the flop.
And he's open-ended. What a flop for Queen Jack.
Just has to fade a jack on the river. Boom! He survives. And doubles up through Adrian Ionescu. Pankowski now playing a stack of just over 35,000.
I'm starting to think maybe this isn't the year of Romania.
Well, Robert is originally from Poland, now lives in Paris, and he's playing his first major live tournament here in Monte Carlo. So 214 players remaining. And back at the feature table, Patrick Antonius has raised with Queen 9. He's been called by Morten Mortensen, who also has Queen 9. And by Davide Katai in the big blind, who has 7-4 of diamonds.
Yeah, you better check that again. It's not a very good hand.
Three-way to the flop. Ace, 5, 4. Katai flops best. Bottom pair and a flush draw.
I take it back.
Action check to the pre-flop aggressor.
And it looks like Patrick is going to continue his aggression from before the flop with a bet here. A lot of the time, this is going to be enough to take it down.
8,000. Gets a fold from Morten Mortensen.
Davide probably has to consider raising here. There's some better hands that he could get to fold and some worse hands that have a good shot at catching up. He thinks Patrick's range is very strong, though. He'll probably just call, not wanting to gamble for all his chips.
He elects to just call. Heads up to the turn. Which is the jack of spades, so Patrick has now picked up a flush draw. And with his increased equity, he may bet again.
This is the problem with not raising on the flop if you're Katai. You might be facing two bets now with only bottom pair.
Patrick makes it 21,000. Katai still a 3-1 favorite in this hand. Calls. And we're going to the river with more than 72,000 in the pot already. And that river card is a queen, giving Patrick a better pair.
Oh man, he backed his way into the best hand. He might decide to just check now, see if it's any good at showdown.
Yeah, action goes check, check. A pair of fours was good until the river.
Yep, that is annoying.
Well, Patrick Antonius now has more than 213,000, more than double the tournament average. We're in Monaco, where it's day 2 of the main event. And right now, Patrick Antonius is dominating the feature table. Hardly surprising, though. He is an incredibly accomplished player.
If you want to call me one of the best players, I have good days and I can play with anyone if I'm playing my best. I live for the moments in poker that get your heart pumping. I get the biggest thrill of calling big bluffs, making big bluffs, playing big hands. Whatever gets you excited and motivated, and also same time having fun. It's fun to play with me. I can see the players who would take a big pride of bluffing me in some pots or so on, and you can feel the tension of the other player. That's what I love about the game. This is a dream situation for me to have a tournament in Monaco. I live very close, so I don't need to go to Las Vegas and Macau. I'm enjoying here, obviously. It's an ideal place for me to play. ...170 players remain in the PokerStars Championship presented by Monte Carlo Casino.
Just 27 eliminations till we're in the money.
It's gut check time, and it's got to be especially exciting for the folks who got in for 10 euros.
Blinds right now are 1,200, 2,400 with a 400 ante. Action at the feature table. Folded by Martin Lunder and by Benoit Lamb. Patrick Antonius with queens. On this hand, we're going to sweat with Patrick. We will only see his whole cards. Unsurprisingly, he has raised with the queens. He's made it 5,500. Action is now on Andrei Maklikov's. He's out. Papazian on the button, folds. Salvatore Graziano is one of the 294 qualifiers in this tournament.
This guy's last name kind of means thank you in some languages, and that's what we're going to be saying when he gives us all them chips. Get up in them chip business.
He is called in the small blind. Katai's folded the big, so we're going heads up to the flop.
That's going to be a lot of Broadway hands, some aces and pairs, but mostly like two big cards kind of hands.
The flop is ace, ace, jack with two clubs.
Ew, gross. I hate it. Though I think we probably hate it less than if it were just one ace out there.
Graziano checks the action to Antonius. He bets 6,000 into a pot of 16,600.
We're mostly betting for value, but we're also protecting against Broadways, catching up and getting a straight.
Quick call from Graziano.
Okay, that's it. I'm done. I'm giving up. He's got it.
Turn card is a king. Graziano checks a second time.
I know I'm a bit of a wuss, but surely Patrick has to check back. Yep.
River card is another jack, so a double paired board.
Well, at this point, all we're beating is missed flush draws.
Graziano reaching for chips. With 28,600 in the middle, he makes it 14K.
Now, it's totally reasonable for Graziano to play an ace this way, but this bet is not huge, so it could also be a weakish bluff attempt. So this is going to come down to Patrick's live reading ability.
Which is pretty decent. Well, he's counted out the call. And he makes the call. Graziano tables sixes, a small pocket pair that got counterfeited on the river.
Nice call, Patrick.
So Patrick adds 31K to his stack, now playing more than 300,000, which means he's fifth on the leaderboard. Meanwhile, the current chip leader is Andreas Klatt, who won the national championship here in Monte Carlo just a few days ago.
I love Klatt. I love every kind of Klatt.
Out in the field, seat open, Maxim Likov, 2009 Kiev champ, eliminated.
Leak off to play some side events.
Gail Bauman has also been KO'd.
Gail Byman.
No min cash for her. And we've lost one of our qualifiers. Ben Heptonstall is out.
More like Ben Hepdun installed off the hard drive. My God, I am back.
And we are down to 165 players as we head to the secondary feature table, where Daniel Negreanu is going to the turn in a hand against Valery Lubinets from Ukraine, another online qualifier.
They both got a pair of fours. When's it all going in?
Both now have a diamond draw. River for free. It's a 3.
This is 4.
Daniel's kicker plays.
Diamond? Diamond, one more.
Finding out professional poker players sometimes check it down was like finding out wrestling is fake.
Daniel Negreanu now playing 76K. He's making good progress. He bought in late and started the day with just 30K. So what do we know about Valery Lubinets?
He's a farmer. I love that song by Snow about farming.
I'm pretty sure that song is Informer, not I'm a Farmer.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Robert Pankowski all in again and racing against Ruslan Mitaev.
Like virtue signaling versus checking your privilege, one of these two hands has a slight mathematical advantage.
Tens with the advantage pre-flop and after the flop. And on the turn, a full house for Pankowski.
Boom.
Robert Pankowski doubles up again.
I feel ya.
Oh, you had a 20. Is this my chip?
We've got plenty of first-timers here in Monte Carlo. In fact, more than half the field won their seats through smaller feeder tournaments.
This is online qualifier, Shedley, 29 big blinds. Time to go big or go home. Let's do this.
I basically spent 82 euros to get to Monaco and entry into a 500,000 euro first prize tournament.
That's the main stage. Hopefully I'll end up there in 6 days and cash in big.
It's pretty amazing.
That's Daniel. Telling people how to play.
These spin and gold qualifiers who may have qualified for as little as $10. Now they're in Monte Carlo, right? Now they're at these lavish parties and they're sitting, elbow to elbow with some of the top players in the world.
I'm here at the qualifiers party because I won a €10 spin and go. Oh, this is brilliant. Yeah, I get to shake hands with all the pros. Yeah, a really good bunch of people.
Being around Daniel or other players who really like to talk felt actually awesome. It was a little surreal. That was amazing. My experience in Monaco is a life-changing moment for sure.
Not gonna lie, all that looked really fun. I hope I get to go to Monaco one day.
One day, Joe. One day. 160 players remaining, tables breaking left, right, and center. And Elke's got a new seat assignment.
Looks like he's just been woken up from cryostasis.
Oh, he's going to be sat next to Victoria Coren Mitchell.
From the pod. Very well, how are you?
I will.
And don't forget French rapper Cool Shen. Have you heard his new single? It's totally on the chain.
Mine?
Yeah. Why?
No, I had a baby.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
How is our shoot?
I'm going to show you a picture, don't you worry. There'll be a lot of pictures.
Nice.
I saw Vicky's baby outside with a nanny who looked a lot like David Mitchell.
Meanwhile, the bust-outs continue. Fatima is gone.
Bye, guys.
More like Fatima no Moreira.
She was KO'd by Faraz Jaka. We've also lost Igor Kurganov.
All right. Good game. Good luck.
Now he's off to teach his philosophy class, but don't bring a notebook. All you need is an open mind.
Huge pot at one of the other outer tables. Alexei Boyka, the 2016 Malta champ, has just been eliminated.
I like that kid. Malta was a fun final table.
The pot goes to Nick Petrangelo.
Hey, Nicky, you the chip leader now, huh? Why don't you stop by the old neighborhood once in a while? Your mother misses you.
Yeah, with 380k, he is now the tournament boss. Other players putting in a solid performance on day two include some of the former champs in the field. Antonius, Mallets, Barry. Negreanu now has more than 100k, roughly 42 big blinds. He's in action at the secondary feature table, going to the turn against a couple of qualifiers. Marius Patea from Romania.
You're of Romania.
And Valery Lubinets from Ukraine.
I know I say always bet your sets, but that mostly applies when you're the pre-flop aggressor.
5 of diamonds on the turn.
And the board on the flop was drier than Tatooine. This turn, however, is a bit of a moisture farm.
Patea with bottom pair and a flush draw bet 7,300. Lubinets has folded.
Speaking of which, can I order some blue milk, please?
Daniel, going nowhere.
But he does have flush and wheel draws to contend with.
So he's going to raise 22,000 total.
You just never want to believe the pros have it.
Patea calls, heads up to the river. 7 of hearts. The board is bricked out for Patea. Daniel has a lock on this.
Yeah, other than a few straight draws, this is a brick for everyone.
Wow, Wow, despite Daniel's raise on the turn, Patea undeterred, bets 35,000.
Unfortunately for him, Daniel's almost never beat here, so he's never, ever folding. He's probably going to at least consider a raise. But unless this dude has exactly a hand like Queen 7, it's hard to get paid off by a worse hand.
Well, he's counted out the call.
Don't forget, Daniel loves calling more than a Tennessee Williams character. The gentleman caller from the Glass Rock. Oh my God, see a play!
There's the call.
Hey, deuce.
Yep. Uh-huh.
3/8.
Yeah, 3/8 high.
You need a diamond. Yeah.
And Daniel needs a permit and a fingerprinted safe because he's carrying around 2 huge guns. We get it, you work out now. Put some sleeves on.
Negreanu now up to 174k after picking off that ill-timed bluff from Patea. So do you think you've got what it takes to get the better of Daniel Negreanu? You could qualify for our next main event. Satellites running now at PokerStars.com. Here in Monaco, the pros are getting the better of the qualifiers as we head towards the money at the PokerStars Championship presented by Monte Carlo Casino. 155 players remain, 143 will get paid. Back at table, Negreanu, he's taking on the qualifiers again.
Big shock these 3 are at it again.
Patea ahead right now with pocket 9s as we go to the flop.
But Daniel's got his favorite hand.
And he's paired his 10, taking the lead.
Check.
Action checks around. 8 on the turn.
Check.
Daniel value betting second pair.
And also a little protection too. Lots of bad cards could come on the river.
Patea calls. Lubinets with a gut shot straight draw. Calls as well. Still 3-way as we go to the river.
I'm gonna go ahead and call both of those calls speculative.
River card changes nothing.
Check.
Check to showdown.
No. Pair of 10s.
10s are good.
Daniel's incredible ascent on day 2 continues. He adds 28k to his stack. He's now playing more than 210,000.
Yummy. Yeah, I didn't think I was gonna win. Call.
And 2 9s don't hold up. What a terrible year of Romania.
My chips are looking pretty now. There's a lot more of them.
Daniel potentially set for another deep run here in Monte Carlo.
So a lot of people looked at the final table I played that Steve O'Dwyer won as, maybe the greatest final table in PokerStars Championship history.
Jason Mercier, Jake Cody, Steve O'Dwyer, Johnny Lawton, Daniel Negreanu.
Yeah, I would say it was a good one. I was in really good shape too. Picking up some hands. If I had Johnny Lawton in some bad spots.
It's a 9, the miracle card for Lawton. Here's an ace. A bad beat for Negreanu, and Johnny Lawton doubles up.
He ended up beating me all in.
Daniel shoves, and Lawton calls.
4 of hearts.
It's a jack.
Nice hand.
And Daniel Negreanu's hopes of completing the Triple Crown have been dashed.
I thought I played really, really well, and it was a pleasure to be, at that table because it was really fun playing high-level poker. Raising the trophy over my head would be an opportunity to do better than the 4th place finish at the Table of Death. It would be great to get back there and finish the deal this time.
Daniel, where is the shirt you were wearing during the interview, specifically the sleeves?
Back at the feature table, Patrick Antonius has bet enough to put Maklakov's all in.
Seems like a spot you can happily get it in.
He calls. Antonius ahead for now.
Maklakovs, can we go thrift shopping?
He's got a ton of outs.
No hearts.
That's the 3rd funniest thing Patrick's ever said.
Patrick's flush draw obviously useless. 5 of diamonds on the turn.
Is this board really gonna brick out? Come on, show some love for the not already super rich and famous guy.
12 outs for Maklakovs. 12 cards he can hit to survive. He misses!
Nope, that's not how the world works, is it?
Out in 155th place.
Good game.
Is it? Is it a good game?
Well, it is for Patrick Antonius. He's now up to 418,000. He is the new tournament chip leader.
And that is how the world works.
Patrick just ahead of Nick Petrangelo, who's currently second on the leaderboard. With 154 players remaining, we are 11 eliminations away from the money.
How fun.
Well, excitement and trepidation for one of our qualifiers, Robert Pankowski. He's all in again.
I don't know why, but I get so attached to some of these qualifiers.
St. Ensan has folded. But Alexei Istomin has called, putting Pankowski at risk. And we are off to the races. Nines against Ace-Jack.
Oh, what a sick flip.
14 cards for Robert to dodge on the river.
Full tens.
You really full.
Thank you, Hossein. Our boy is all grossed up, and he's all grossed up, and he's all grossed up.
He survives another all-in.
I'd make a joke about this guy, but Istomin.
Robert Pankowski is now an above-average stack, 175,000. Meanwhile, we have lost a player in the field. We're down to 153. That means we are 9 eliminations away from the money bubble. Make that 8. Ola Shemian eliminated.
Ollie Oxenfree.
And his table is now breaking.
Gonna go have some fun on the bubble now. No more bullies at my table. You too.
Back at the feature table, Patrick Antonius is under the gun. And at this point in the tournament, with all those chips, Patrick's going to start bullying everyone else. He raises with Queen 4 to 6,000.
Oh, look at you, Mr. Fancy Chip Leader, raising all loose under the gun.
Alexandru Papazian has King Jack in the hijack.
Year of Romania.
Papazian is actually number 1 on Romania's all-time money list, having won the high roller here in Monte Carlo last year. He's just re-raised it, made it 18k. Salvatore Graziano folds. Davide Katai on the button. Throws away King 8. Round to Benoit Lamb in the big blind. He's got Ace King.
All right, let's talk about the situation a little bit here. He's got like 9 big blinds. He's 7 from the money. It's going to be pretty close if he tries to fold his way there. Although it looks like he's trying to make it a little less close by taking his sweet time with this one. I haven't seen a stall this bad since any time anyone tries to start a car in a horror movie.
We don't know that much about Benoit Lamb. He has no main event cashes on our tour. And I guess he's very keen to score his first here in Monaco.
Honestly, I would be too. Wait, he's not looking at his cards for the first time right now, is he?
Clock.
Papazian's had enough.
Fair.
It's too much. Sure.
Fine, TV table, please.
They'll give Lamb 60 seconds to make a decision.
Anyways, you can make your decision before they start counting. You're allowed.
Well, not if he's trying to stall. Honestly, I don't like it, but I understand it.
Is he stalling? Or is he generally not sure what to do in this spot?
I don't know. I think he looks more embarrassed than confused. I mean, if you have to annoy everybody to make a few €1,000, doesn't that kind of make it worth it?
Well, the clock is running on Benoit Lamb.
Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
See, usually they fold right before the hand gets killed. I admire him just owning it.
Would have been cool if you started tanking now.
So Papazian wins the pot.
I want to see that hand.
Yeah, we can see after the game.
And you're probably not going to believe it.
So Benoit Lamb survives for now and hopes to survive the bubble. What do you think about that fold? Tag your tweets. We've just seen one of the most surprising folds ever. And there can only be one explanation. Yes, the bubble is looming large and in everyone's thoughts.
The bubble, pretty annoying part of the tournament.
Everybody gets hyped up about it.
You know, the bubble is interesting. It just changes the game a little bit.
I have to stick to the plan, play my game, play good hands, and don't lose focus.
It's always time, usually, for the big stacks to take advantage of the smaller ones.
I'll take a little bit of advantage of people that I know are inching up the prize money ladder and maybe make a few moves, which creates a really interesting dynamic.
Well, here at the PokerStars Championship presented by Monte Carlo Casino, we are 1 away from the bubble, 2 off the money.
Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic in the same way a bully turns a kid upside down for his lunch money is interesting.
So at the secondary feature table, Luis Duarte has opened with King Deuce. Andrei Bondar from Russia has pocket jacks on the button.
Is this a 2001 family drama starring Kevin Spacey? Because we are about to watch the shipping news.
Nope, he just calls.
Okay, so it's a little weird and kind of goofy, like K-Pax.
Valery Lubinets folds. Daniel Negreanu has ace-5 in the big blind.
All right, so Daniel is never calling here. And if you look at their stack sizes, this is the perfect precursor to Daniel's interesting dynamic you heard a minute ago.
A re-raise to 22,000. Gets rid of Duarte. How does Bondar respond?
Well, unless Bondar was trying to induce this kind of action, Russian Bono has put himself in a bit of a spot here. Aktung Detka. A shove in the first place would have eliminated this.
Show me.
What's that?
Show me.
Now? It's not allowed.
Okay.
Bondar folds jacks face up.
Yikes.
I can show one.
Shows the ace. That was kind.
It was a flip. It was a flip. Close to the money.
Oh, it's like telling your kids their dog went to live on a farm.
So we're 2 eliminations from the money, and we have 2 all-ins at 2 separate tables.
Okay, we are 2 seats away from the bubble, and we have the first all-in on table 17. We have pre-flop, Sean is all-in, called by Nick. And Sean is dominated by Nick. Sean is showing ace-9, suited hearts, playing against ace-king. Let's see the flop.
It's domination, petrangulation.
King on the flop, things not looking good for Jean Koja.
He's got 2 different kinds of backdoors at least. He can make runner, runner, heart, or runner, runner, straight.
And the turn.
No help, he's drawing dead. So now we're on the pure bubble.
So Nick's at the bot, and Sean is out. And we go to the second table. There's also an on a call.
And at that table, Maria Ho is all in and at risk against Valdemar Novak.
If she goes broke, everyone else is in the money.
So 1 player out. 1 more to go.
Oh no.
No one's on Maria's side right now.
So we are on the river. Maria is all in and called by Valdemar. We are on the river. So showdown, please.
Well, that's the nut straight for Maria. We will not be losing a player here. A set of jacks for Novak.
So now we are still 144 players.
I really wished a different turn card came, you know. I didn't think the turn was very It's the only hand I play.
Jason Mercier about to cash another poker tournament, also a shocker.
Well, let's restart the clock and restart the action.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are now on the real bubble. So every table playing the same hand at the same time, hand for hand. I wish you good luck for the bubble. And dealer, deal the next hand, please.
The struggle is real, and now so is the bubble.
Next player out leaves with nothing. Everyone else will be guaranteed at least 7.5 grand.
If Russian Bono bubbles, he'll be out on the street with Niet name.
Blinds of 1,500, 3,000 with a 500 ante. Feature table. It's been folded to Lunda. He's out. Lamb passes. Patrick Antonius continuing to play the role of big stack bully. Opens with King Deuce.
He gonna bully this table like he's Biff Tannen. Nice fold, butthead.
Papazian folds the small blind. Salvatore Graziano is now super short, fewer than 5 big blinds, and he's got ace-queen.
As a qualifier, min cash would mean a lot to him. This is his first biggest tournament. It's a huge moment for him. Fold and maybe blind out on a long bubble, maybe get it in bad, or probably the scariest thing is to get it in with the best of it and maybe still go broke.
Now, this is definitely not an example of stalling. We heard from Thomas Lamache, the tournament is now hand for hand. That means they're playing one hand at every table and then stopping until players concluded at every table in the tournament. Then they deal the next hand. This is clearly a huge decision for Graziano.
Still, maybe this is time for you at home to get something useful done. Maybe dust a little. Make tomorrow's lunch.
I don't want to bust you. That's all I can say. I don't want to bust anyone on this table before the bubble.
He really doesn't want to bust him. He wants the bubble to continue forever so he can win the blinds and antes into oblivion.
Well, play has concluded at every other table, so they're all waiting for Graziano to make up his mind.
Believe it or not, I think this is actually a fold.
Well, Graziano has called. I didn't expect that.
Well, that's one way to do it.
And there's a queen on the flop. Now he's all in.
I wonder what flops he was folding on.
That's one way to play it.
I just said that.
Cannot see how I could fold. 11 and 1.
Patrick is only getting like 2.5 to 1.
Any chance you're bluffing me?
Nah.
Any chance of that?
Nah.
I don't want to bust you.
Nah.
You know what? Just take it.
Graziano wins the pot. And shows the queen.
I had an overcard and something else.
Oh, attention, the main event. Dealers, next hand, please.
So once that hand had concluded, all the tables had finished. Now we can move on to the next hand.
Hey, what if we just have 4 episodes of Patrick winning the blinds and antes on the bubble?
Let's do it.
We might have to.
The action has been folded to Patrick, who will probably raise regardless of his holding.
Yep.
Jack 8 offsuit. He makes it 6,000. Papazian on the button. Folds 10-7 off. Salvatore Graziano has pocket queens.
Hey, Salvatore, hello. Now this is just too strong to fold against Patrick, who is raising a ton.
He is all in. Tied in the big blind with ace-king.
How much?
28, 100.
Somebody call Amy Schumer because this is gonna be a train wreck.
Now does Katai just call or reshove? He calls. And Patrick folds. Now we need to double check that every other hand is concluded before we can flip the cards over and deal out the flop Turnham River.
What a tense wait that's gonna be.
Okay, we have our all-in and a call on our feature table.
Looks like play has concluded at all of the outer tables. Tournament director Thomas Lamache coming to the main stage.
This is an all-time sick race and an all-time sick spot.
Salvatore is all-in and got called by Davides.
Two behemoths, two hands you can never fold, but only one can win.
And here comes the flop. Flop is 8 ace and a 4.
There's now a 91% chance that Graziano bubbles this tournament.
Turn. 7, so 2 outs left.
Only a queen saves him from bubbling.
And the river is 8. No help.
Graziano is out.
Good game.
And everyone else has cashed.
Let's just give this guy a few seconds before we erupt into applause.
Congratulations to all other players who are in the money of our PokerStars Championship main event.
So here's how things stand post-bubble. Everyone now guaranteed at least a min cash. And nobody happier than qualifier Robert Pankowski.
Well, turning 82 euros into 7,580 is a pretty good return. And my son, before I was leaving, he's 6 years old, and he was asking where I was going, and I said I'm just going on a train, and I won't be there for 8 days, so he just assumed that I'm going to work. So that's not a bad 2 days of work. Yeah.
A couple of post-bubble eliminations just before the end of play. We have lost Vicky, and we've lost Jason.
Where's my 7,000?
Both cash for 7,580 euros.
All right, my babies, that is day 2 in the books.
Next time, it's getting serious.
There you go, Ollie.
Oh. For almost everyone.
Let's have some fun.
No.
But as the field narrows, no stack is sacred.
Oh, you got me.
And some are left seeking divine inspiration.